Yeah, today we are going to learn how to present to parents. And under normal circumstances, it shouldn't take you beyond 20 minutes in doing a presentation to a parent. But we are going to go deeper and break down every concept and then mindset behind the presentation so that when you are meeting a parent, you can be able to do a good job. So, welcome to I Am Brainy Child. This is where you have your presentation slides printed in an A5 sheet. Tell them you are doing it on a matte paper or a floppy. The paper they use to make the flyers, the shiny floppy papers, is the same, almost equal cost with the A4. And then you can have it in A5 size, which will make it shorter and then more presentable, and then have it comb binded with a what's it called, with a cover, a laminated cover. Okay, it makes it simple and nice, so you don't necessarily have to carry a tablet or a laptop. If you have a tablet, you can use it. If you don't have a tablet, just go and print out the PDF presentation slide and then in A5 sizes and have it comb binded, having it in the form of a handout, and then when you are presenting to the parent, you can put it on the top of a table facing the parent so that they can see what you are saying. It's good when they can hear and see audio visual what you are saying. It makes it easier to convince them. So what do we do at Brainy Child? This is you explaining to the parent. We educate parents on how they can help their children become smarter using some special educational materials to support them in the early part of their lives. Now, what do you know about a child's brain development? So this is where you are going to start asking questions to the parents. Okay, so this is where you are going to get their attention. You are going to catch their attention and then their focus and keeping it so that they pay more attention to you in the presentation. So first of all, how old is your child and what is the name of your child, if you don't mind me asking? So the parent will tell me, oh, my child is a year and 6 months, and then his name is Kofi. Thank you. So at what age do you think Kofi started learning? And children like Kofi, at what age do you think they start to learn? Oh, the parent is okay. I think when he was born, they'll give different answers. That is wonderful. And then when do you think is the most crucial period in Kofi's brain developmental period, age-wise? Between what age to what age do you think Kofi becomes very smart? Oh, I think when he is born, I think between the ages of 10 to 18. These are some responses you get from some parents. That is wonderful. That is wonderful. Then why do you think that many children don't like maths? But wait, so this is how I always present it. But wait, I would like to find out, you personally, do you like maths? Some parents will smile. It's a humorous but very critical question. Some will smile, some will tell you, no, I don't like maths. Some will tell you, yes, I like maths. Okay, no problem. Whether you like maths or you don't like maths, you agree with me that many children and many people don't like maths. Over 60% of the world don't like maths. And in Ghana, when you write exams, over 60% of the children fail maths and science. Why do you think that many children don't like maths? So the parent will give you their reason. That is wonderful. Now let's move on. Now this is the answer to our first question. Babies begin to learn from the womb. So as you can see from the slides, as you can see from the sheet, as you can see from the presentation booklet, the child develops their ear within the first 9 weeks. They begin to develop their ear, and then within the 16 weeks they begin to detect sounds, and then within 24 weeks the babies begin to turn their heads towards voices. This is why it is advised to a lot of parents that when you are pregnant, make sure you talk to the child. Even though the child is in the womb, they are listening, they are developing their hearing potential. The child can hear you. The child is building habits while they are still in the tummy, what they hear. Make sure you listen to a lot of positive and inspiring messages, be it your religious or your spiritual book. Listen and then speak louder, because the child is picking up. And avoid being in negative environment where people easily insult and share negative words. It goes into the child's memory, and then the child also pick up some of these negative things as they are growing. And then from the Harvard School of Science, 90% of a child's brain development happens before the age 5. So by the age 5, the child develops over 90% of his brain capacity. That is why children are very, very critical in terms of their age range. Now, what you need to understand is that the child, as you see him or her like a baby, but the brain inside the child is a very powerful machine, powerful computer that is hungry and absorbing information all around, and will come to know more. So this is the brain cell development in every child. Okay, this is between the ages of 0 to 6 years. Okay, so between the ages of 0 to 6, you can see that from 36 weeks of gestation period. Gestation simply means while the child is still in the womb of the parent, and then when they become newborn, you realize that the brain cells has increased in quantity, and then at 3 months they get more brain cells, but at 6 months the brain cells become intense. This is where what development of the brain becomes very crucial, because this is where the brain cells are progressively increasing very fast. Now by 2 years, that is where the child, between 2 to 3 years, that's where the child gets to its peak of what brain cells growth. So this is where the child has intensive brain cells. Now at this level, the child is characterized by 2 features. We have hyperactivity and hypercuriosity. So I hope you are writing all these points that I'm mentioning down. You are taking note of all these things, because at the end of the day, you will be expected to do a presentation, and we expect to hear all these technical terms and all these things here. And failure to do it means that you didn't practice and prepare enough, and as a result, when you go, you will bump in front of a parent. You will not be able to do effective presentation. The parents need to know that you are a professional. You know what you are talking about, and indeed you have knowledge about what you are saying. So you need to learn the technical terms, but you don't go and then blast it to the parent. You break it down. After you mention it, then you break it down for the parent to know that indeed you know what you are talking about. So don't just be listening. You need to be taking notes. So by the 2 years, the child is characterized by 2 main features: hyperactivity and then hypercuriosity. This is happening or happens in a lot of children, not every child. So you find a lot of children, they are very active. Everything, they want to tamper with it. They want to understand it. They want to hold the television and understand how the people got into the television. They want to break your phone and see the toys inside the phone. When they see mud, they want to walk into it. They want to experience everything around them. They mix water with food, they climb stairs, and then there are certain environments when you go and then you realize that the room is quiet for like 30 minutes or an hour. You know there's a problem somewhere, because the child is causing damage somewhere. You go and check, either they have used the pomade to smear their entire face, or they have used the powder to smear their entire body, or they have spilled water all over the kitchen, and a whole lot of stuff. These are part of their brain developmental process. Now, unfortunately for us, because we do not have the knowledge and understanding of some of these things, we tend to beat the children and we call them to be stubborn. So while we are beating the children, what we are doing is that we are suppressing their potential. We are making them become dull. We are making them become scared. So it gets to a point where the child becomes dull. So they are afraid to do anything because their confidence has been shattered. Their ability to explore has been shattered. So for the child to try new things, is afraid. What is supposed to happen here is that the child's energy and then their work ethic is supposed to be directed in a productive venture. So you are supposed to have learning materials or educational programs that will direct the energy of the child into something productive, instead of trying to beat them or restrict them. And then between the ages of 4 to 6 years, the child undergoes a process called synapses pruning. Synapses pruning is simply where the brain cells that are not being used are eliminated. So the brain is one of the smallest organs of the body. The brain is less than 5% of the body, but it consumes about 25% of the body's energy. Are you getting it? So the brain, the cells that are not being used will be eliminated. So you realize that the brain cells were a lot in 2 years, but in 4 years it has reduced. It's reducing. So now a parent who has exposed their child to early brain stimulation programs early enough, it means that more brain cells will be used, so less pruning, less brain cells will be eliminated. But a child who has not been exposed to actively engagement in learning programs, it means that more brain cells will be pruned because more brain cells are not being used. So the turning point in a child's brain growth, which every parent needs to understand, that research holds it that from the age of 0 to 3 years, a child's brain develops about 200 trillion brain cells or nerves, which is twice that of an adult. So an adult has what? 100 trillion brain cells. okay, a standard adult between the age of 0 to the over 20 years, okay, that's 18 plus. So the person would have developed over 100 trillion brain cells, but the child would have developed over 200 trillion brain cells between that period. So that is twice of that of an adult, to enable massive learning. But due to the lack or ineffective learning programs at home, many of these cells are not used, and as a result they are cut off or they are eliminated, which will reduce the ability of the child to memorize and also to be able to think and process information. So daily manifestations of a child's potential, these are things we see on daily basis that shows you how smart your child is, but you do not pay attention. One, the ability of a child to easily unlock phones. So you realize that today, when your child picks up your mobile phone, they are able to easily unlock it. You can put a password, it can be a sentence. The child might not understand the sentence, but once they see you open your phone once or twice, they will be able to type your password for you, but they can't pronounce the word. That is the beauty about the brain. And secondly, you can even use pattern. Pattern is even the easiest for a lot of children. Once they take your phone, they will easily break your pattern, and that is how smart some of these children have become. Then we have the strong ability to control phones and applications. When your child picks up your phone or your tablet, they know exactly what they want and they know exactly where they are going. Sometimes you can have your phone and there's no game, there's nothing on it to entertain any child. The child will pick the phone on your data, go to Play Store, download the games they want and play till your phone dies. Then they will leave your phone there for you. When you come and charge it, they'll come and take it again and play. When you uninstall it, they will install it back. That is how smart they are. And these children might be 2 years or even below 2 years. And this is how amazing it is. Constant damage to TV remotes and then TV itself. So there are certain houses every single week they have to buy new remote. Why? Because the child will break it. The child is still struggling to understand the relationship between the television and then the remote. He's fascinated by it. How can you just press one and then the TV will change, two and then the TV will change? There's nothing the remote to the TV and it keeps changing. The child is trying to understand that, so he keeps playing and damaging with the remote. Secondly, you find children trying to understand how the toys they are watching or the people they are watching on the television got into the television. So if you are not careful or your TV is not properly placed, you might come and then they have damaged the television. So working in math and spilling water all over, when you hear the child is quiet the whole day, then you know that the whole 30 minutes or an hour, you know that there's a problem somewhere. You go into the kitchen, realize that the child has spilled water all over in the living room, in the bedroom, in the kitchen, or the child is walking in some mud, some dirty water somewhere. They want to experience it. It's part of nature. So it's part of their brain development. Then memorizing adverts and singing songs. You can have children be playing in the living room while you are watching your telenovela or you are watching your normal movies, and then you realize that they are playing a particular advert almost after every telenovela, and then the next moment, within some few days, you realize that your child has memorized this advert, and then they might not even understand the language of the advert, but they are singing it beautifully. And this is the beauty. And when it comes to singing songs, it's even the easiest. You find a child who cannot recite maybe 1 to 20 or cannot recite ABCD up to even J, but they can sing an entire Shatawale song for you, A to Z, and they may not understand what they are saying, but they are singing it for you perfectly. That is the power of the brain, the cognitive ability of the brain. And this brain is going to keep taking information that it finds in the environment. If you do not program the child's brain, the environment will program it, and it will put a lot of unnecessary information into the brain of the child. And usually children who seem quite stubborn tend to be very smart. Usually children who are very stubborn, you see that they pass it, they are very, very intelligent. If you can understand their pattern and communicate effectively with them and direct their energy and expose them to playful learning materials, they will become very smart and lovely. So did you know that there are kids who can read effectively by the age of 3, just 3 years? A child can read books that there are some children who are 6 years and 8 years cannot read. Do you also know that most children have the potential to be 3 times smarter than they are when they are given the right learning programs? Do you also know that most children develop poor foundation for maths, so they dislike it? And this is the answer to our 4th question. The reason why most children dislike maths is because of poor foundation. Maths is like a building. When the foundation is weak, the entire building will not stand, it will collapse. The best time for a child to learn multiple languages is when they are still young. If you put a child who is newborn today in a house where they speak 50 languages, So hope you are taking down all these examples, because you need to give it to the parent to know that you are being practical and realistic. You are relating to them in the environment. So the best time for a child to learn multiple languages is when they are still young. The example here is that when you put a child in an environment or in a house where they speak about 50 languages, give the child 6 years. By 0 to 6 years, when the child is speaking fluently, they will speak all these languages fluently. Put an adult in the same house, give him 10 years. You will come back and maybe you would get 1 or 2 languages, maybe. And some of them, if you are not lucky, by the time you come back, the language that the person speaks, the original language, you even forget it. We have friends and families who travel outside the country and they come back and then they don't speak their local languages again. So it happens. We have people who are from Francophone countries and then they come to Ghana to learn English and then they go back and they can't speak French again. And over 70% of smart children are raised from the home. Yes, this is one of the things that nobody tells you. But most of the children who are very, very smart, apart from the few who are gifted, naturally born, most of the children are trained in the house. The special support of their parents that they get is what makes the difference when they go to school. You'll be amazed to know, as a busy parent, you might not have time, but the 10 minutes you can commit to your child on a daily basis, you will see the wonders it will do in the life of the child. When they go to school, they will always be ahead of their counterpart or their colleagues. So what can I do as a parent to help my children become smarter? That is where we bring to you an Brainy Child. So expose them to a special brain development program which will help them become smarter. And what is this program? Let's look at the program. The first is a collection of learning materials which help the child to understand things in different areas. The first one we have is what we call the Phonics Master. So as you can see, it's a board game which contains different items and images that allows the child to learn the corresponding things. So it helps the child to learn to have fun while they are competing in spellings, and then helps the child to learn how to spell several words, and then helps the child to pronounce several words and strengthens their mental processor. So as the name goes, Phonics Master, it helps the child to master phonics. Okay, so they are mastering the phonics in terms of A, B, C, D. A for apple, B for ball, C for cap, D for dog. So they learn capital A, small a, capital B, small b. So they learn all these things and then they master the sound. A, apple, egg, g, which is what? So they are picking up all these things. Then we have what we call the brain booster or the super brain booster. This helps in mental speed. This was developed on the concept of mental. Okay, that's an exercise we used to do back in school where teachers come with canes and then they ask you 3 plus 3 plus 4 and you are supposed to answer these at a very faster pace. So this board game helps the child to do it in a fun way without being terrorized by the cane. So it helps the child to calculate in seconds and then activate more brain cells in the child, and helps in creative thinking. It helps the child to be creative in their thinking and helps the child to become a solution provider. Helps to reduce the screen addiction to television, tablet and stuff. So you find a lot of children, they are using tablets, they are using mobile phones, and it's good. But what most parents don't know is that it is not advisable for a child who is below 6 years to be using these stuffs, because the tablets and those screens are addictive. So it gets to a time where the child find it difficult to even read from normal books because they are used to the screens. They find it difficult because at a point in time they are bombarded with so much radiation, and then sometimes it even affects their eyes because of the overexposure to these screens, and they become addicted that you find it difficult to even separate them from the screens. You even ask yourself as a parent that, when did you start using a phone? So most of us started using phones after SHS, but a day without our phone today, it feels like your life is coming to an end. Your life is incomplete when your phone is damaged. So imagine if you have started using your phone from 3 years or 5 years. If your phone is not with you and you grow up and your phone is damaged, how will you feel? The addiction becomes stronger and difficult for you to break bands. So, and it also helps to build a better social bond between you and your children. Now, for you as a consultant, what you need to also learn is how to use all these learning materials so that when you are talking with a parent, you talk with confidence. So there is a video, the last video attached to this learning, these videos or the training, orientation trainings that you are receiving contains a video on how to use the learning materials, okay? How to use the learning materials, which will give you a better understanding of how to use the learning materials, so that when you are speaking, you speak with confidence. And then we have the Think Smarter. Okay, now the Think Smarter is designed to help you build strategic thinkers. So the child is to strengthen their thinking skills, their problem solving skills. So it boosts their brain for problem solving, and it helps to make the child smarter. It helps the child to also have fun. This board game is like chess, so it helps the child to play the chess. So you play it. This, when we were young, we used to call it three corners, where whoever is able to get their dice in one linear consecutive line wins. So you can watch the video to understand more about how to use this and how to play the game. So we have the cognitive treasure as well, which helps the child to learn the phonics and combinations of letters and sounds, helps to build a strong reading foundation, and helps to identify letters with every items, and then helps to develop a stronger cognitive memory. So these are the cognitive enhancers. It teaches the child A for apple, B for ball, C for cat, and all these stuffs. Then we have the creativity builder, which helps to build the child in terms of their creativity. These are more like Legos that the child can connect and then have fun with, strengthening their walking skills, their holding skills, their climbing skills, and then their imagination skills. Then we have the mathematics champion, which helps to build an excellent maths foundation for your child, helps them to identify numbers early, helps them to understand the computations, 1 plus 1, 3 plus 3, what does it mean, and how to apply it in real life, helps them to solve questions even higher than their levels, and helps them to read the clock, and then also helps them to love maths, and also helps them to learn writing. So we also have, how do I learn how to use all these learning materials, which is one of the challenges of every parent. We have done series of videos teaching you how to use these learning materials to make it easy for you as a parent to learn. And then secondly, we also have videos for the child to have fun watching cartoons and entertainment and educational videos that they can have fun with. And then over 20 parental guidance videos to help you understand how to help your child become smarter, teaching you how to identify their talent, how to help them to become more spiritual, how to empower them to be more confident, and a whole lot. So there are over 20 educational and cartoon videos on the pen drive that the child can also watch and then have fun with. We also have over 20 child training videos, which teaches you how to help your child boost their confidence, how to help your child read early, how to develop a powerful memory, how to help your child love God or become more spiritual, and a whole lot of other amazing training videos. Then we are also having over 20 Disney book collections, which the child can have fun with. So these are books that the child can go through and then be able to improve their reading, and then love storybooks. Then we have the amazing Bible stories, which the child falls in love with the Bible video cartoons, okay, which is on the pen drive. So that there are a lot of video cartoons from the Bible that the child can watch and become spiritually stronger and fall in love with it. Then we also have the full Quran and Arabic learning for kids, which are all on the pen drive. There are videos that the child can watch and then learn a lot of things in Arabic, and also learn the full Quran, which is in audio. So these are how the collection of the set of the learning materials looks like. So as an addition, you can play the video for the parent as well to see the practical usage and demonstration of the various learning materials, and then you can move forward. So the price of the learning material is 1,400 cedis, but we have a promo that is going on for 1 week, okay, and then the promo is 699 cedis with flexible payment plans, because we know not everybody will be able to afford this amount at a go. So the company introduced a flexible payment plan that once you make any payment within this week, you are considered to be part of the promo, and that is the reason why I was urgent in speaking to you to take advantage of this promo. So what are the payment plans? The full amount is 699 cedis for the promo, and then with the installment you're able to make 70%, which is 499 cedis. So once you pay the 499 cedis, you receive all the learning materials, and within a month you complete the rest of the 200, the rest of the 200. And then we have 200 cedis monthly installment, and in the third month the company will deliver the learning materials to you, and then you complete the rest of the payment in the fourth month. And then we have the 100 cedis monthly installment, where the company delivers the materials for you in the sixth month, and then you complete the rest of the payment in the seventh month. However, any of these packages that the company is making delivery comes with an extra delivery fee. If you are within Accra, within the Accra center, it's a delivery of 20 cedis, but you are outside Accra, areas like Tema, Kumasi, Takrady, Tamale, is 30 cedis for delivery. So you pick it up at the transport terminal. So watch this short testimonial from some parents. So there's a short testimonial video which is less than 1 minute that you can show to the parents to watch and then appreciate the feedback from other parents. So this is a closing reminder. So times might be hard as parents, times might be hard. We may not have the money that we want, but we cannot sacrifice our children's future, because we spend equally on things that cost us even more, like our mobile phones. Some of us are using our phones that cost us 1,000 cedis, 800 cedis, 600 cedis, or even 500 cedis. And then cars, some of us are using cars, others are not using it. And some of us are buying lands, and some of us have bought lands, some of us have bought houses, some of us are planning to buy houses. And all these things are very important, but they can never be more important than the future of our children. Even if we don't have the full amount, we can show our commitment through the installment option. Let us not deny our children an opportunity we didn't get. We owe them a better foundation. So kindly help me fill the client feedback form. Thank you very much for your cooperation. So at this juncture, I share the feedback form with the customer. If they are literate, I give the forms to them to fill themselves. If they are not literate, then I ask them, then they fill it. Are you getting it? When the client still wants to see the products, you let them understand that you are a consultant, and the company that permit you to carry the product physically moving around to show to parents. However, after the presentation, once they are convinced and they are really interested, we will make the order. Once they are prepared, we'll make the order. The delivery team will bring the learning materials to them. They will pick it up, or you bring the learning materials to them. They will pick it up. They will watch it. If it is as they saw in the video or as they saw on the slides, then they make payments. Are you getting it? But for us to bring the learning materials for them to just see and then send it back to the office is not permissible, because there are several agents, and then not everybody would be honest in submitting. So this is the directives of the company. You watch the video, you watch the presentation slide, you watch the pictures, the videos and everything. Once you are ready, you make the order, we deliver the learning materials, you check it, and then you make payment. So that is so you can share the video with them after you are done with the presentation on WhatsApp, and then you get their feedback. So always remind them they have a 1 week to make the purchase. They can make a commitment within the week, 200 cedis or even less, and then at the end of the day, their name is added to the promo. So even after the promo, beyond the 1 week, if they make payment, they are able to still get the learning materials. But if the parent promises and then they are not able to fulfill it within the week, or they tell you sincerely that within this week they can't get the money, tell them no problem. For their enthusiasm and their commitment, you are going to add their list or their name to it, but you are going to talk to your supervisor to give them a special opportunity that sometimes we give to some parents who are very serious, but they have to fulfill their promise by the end of the month, because that is where most people get paid. So by the end of the month, they would have to decide whether they are making the 70% payment, or they are making 200 or 100 cedis payment on monthly basis. So everybody is captured within this presentation. So kindly go through the presentation, master it, do your audio presentation right away, and send it into the group. We'll go through, and then we'll advise you where you need to improve upon, and then you work it out again until you become a better presenter to be able to speak and convince parents within this 2 weeks training period. Stay blessed.